Hello, this is Midday News. Thanks for joining us. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, or RPNGC, and the Australian Federal Police, or AFP, have reached an agreement on infrastructure support with housing for police personnel prioritised. The agreement will see the provision of about 100 million kina over 4 years, focused mainly on police barracks and housing to meet the needs of the RPNGC and to ensure graduating recruits and police can be deployed across the country. Police Commissioner David Manning said a large part of the support will be utilized in improving living conditions for policemen and women throughout the building and renovation of the barracks and accommodation. Manning says the PNG police force is undertaking a large expansion that will see personnel numbers increase year on year. The funding is vital in rebuilding the police force to meet the needs of its communities, and Australia is an important partner in this process. The RPNGC thanked Australia for its commitment to invest in barracks and accommodation facilities. 4 ministries and their representative secretaries have been tasked this week by the Prime Minister to immediately come up with an implementation plan to begin mobilizing the youth of the country. Prime Minister James Marape directed that this plan be drafted and be ready for launch by the end of next month, with a submission to the Cabinet in the next 3 weeks. Minister for Community Development Jason Peters, Minister for Commerce and Industry Win Daki, and Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs and the new Minister for Administrative Affairs Richard Masare, as well as representative departmental heads and the national statistician, have been tasked to work together to come up with a workable set of strategies that can address the increasing youth bulk in the country. Prime Minister has urged the leaders to look at engaging the public service branches in the district right down to the wards level to immediately register the young men and women of the ages of 15 years to 40 years as the first step to implementing the plan, while a cabinet submission will also be made for national census this year. Governor of Manus, Charlie Benjamin, recently presented a 180-plus money plan, including the Manus District Development Authority budget, including budgets for the 12 LLGs. Governor Benjamin said he was thankful to the national government for the 2024 budget allocation of service improvement program grants and functional grants to his province, including infrastructural funding under the Connect PNG program for Manus Highway. 40% of the budget is earmarked for the development of infrastructure and related programs. Manus is emphasizing the development of its revenue sources and the creation of a special economic zone as the main strategy for generating more revenue between now and 2030. Over 4 million kina is estimated for the 2024 Central Provincial Budget, which was presented by Governor Rufina Peter yesterday in Port Moresby. The budget funds have been allocated towards social welfare programs focusing on supporting vulnerable communities, empowering women, and providing education and health services. The provincial budget is divided into 5 main parts: the national government grants to the province internal revenue, the national government grants to the LLGs, national government grants and other development grants and funds. Governor Peter presented the budget with confidence and optimism for this year. She encouraged all those present to create a brighter future for Central Province. Solomon Highlands sensation, Dormant's project, or DMP, has soared to global acclaim by securing Top honors in the Jockey Music Awards, their recent achievements including winning the Best Reggae Song and Mosa, claiming the Best Afrobeat Song title. In a landmark move, the MP has signed with Ifedable Records in Los Angeles, USA, gearing up for a highly anticipated album release. Before their USA tour, DPM will grace Port Moresby's Cosmopolitan on February 2nd and 3rd, featuring fans to an unforgettable concert experience featuring collaboration with Davil and Cool Range Band. Meet and greet ticket holders will receive exclusive DPN merchandise packages, adding to the excitement of their upcoming performances. Turning overseas, the Commonwealth wants other states and territories to follow Western Australia's lead in signing a deal on education funding, which will see it become the first state with fully funded public schools. Public schools are falling short of the minimum funding levels set out in the 2011 Gensky report and are facing declining academic results and teacher shortages.
With a new school year, there's plenty to be excited about.
I'm going to play at the big playground, seeing my friends again. I can get new friends.
And forging alliances in the political playground.
Bingo. This is a landmark day for public education. Western Australia will become the first state in Australia to fully fund public schools.
To get there, the Commonwealth is boosting its contribution in WA from 20% to 22.5%, or $770 million over 5 years.
We're very grateful for that huge injection of funding and resourcing. That will be matched by the state and will bring us to the magical mark of full Gonski 100% of the SRS.
Except for in the ACT, no public school across the country is on track to be at 100% of what David Gonski said was the level they need to be at.
It's really disappointing that we haven't seen the states step up, and of course we haven't seen Jason Clare put the blowtorch on the states.
Jason Clare says negotiations with other states and territories about their funding splits with the Commonwealth are well underway.
This is money that'll be used to help children who need it the most. And I want to work with my state colleagues to do that in other parts of the country as well, but I'm not going to negotiate the deal on telly.
Our position is that the Commonwealth needs to increase their share by 5%.
The statement of intent signed by WA today has a no worse off clause, meaning if any other state reaches a better deal with the Commonwealth, Western Australia will get the same deal.
The funding injection is set to go towards things like extra tutoring for struggling students, rolling out to disadvantaged schools first.
The largest water license ever granted in the Northern Territory will go ahead after the anti-Supreme Court dismissed a challenge over its legality. The controversial license will eventually allow up to 40,000 megalitres of groundwater to be extracted each year from a property north of Alice Springs.
Water licence ever granted in the NT, today dismissed by the Supreme Court.
It's a devastating decision.
Traditional owners and environment groups argued an anti-government licence allowing Fortune Agribusiness to extract 40,000 megalitres of groundwater each year from Singleton Station did not follow the Water Act and posed a risk to Aboriginal culture and country.
Proposes over an area like 50 kilometres to lower the water table in a way that will impact or either damaging or destroying these ecosystems.
Claims thrown out by the judge, who said the licence abided by water laws, with relevant advice properly considered before it was granted. In a statement about the decision, the Central Land Council said, "We will explain it to the native title holders and remote communities affected by the water licence and seek their instructions." While Fortune Agribusiness welcomed the outcome and says the project will eventually bring almost 1,500 jobs to one of Australia's poorest regions.
This project has the potential to transform the wellbeing and livelihood of a lot of people who are in a pretty disadvantaged location, and we're determined to ensure those people really benefit from the project in a whole multitude of ways.
Fortune Agribusiness will need to complete an environmental impact statement, the highest level of environmental scrutiny in the NT, before it can proceed with the development. They expect it will be completed by 2025, but in the meantime, opponents claim they'll keep fighting.
There's hope that we can finally get the right outcome and this water licence can be stopped.
A community continuing to brace for a controversial licence.
The woman who survived a shark attack in Australia, Abba, is likely to make a full recovery. Lauren O'Neill has thanked the surgeons who saved her leg after she was marked while swimming in Elizabeth Bay on Monday evening.
Lauren O'Neill says she was only taking a quick dip close to shore on Monday evening when a bull shark attacked. Surgeons at St Vincent's Hospital worked through the night to save her life, and as she recovered on a ward, the 29-year-old issued a statement thanking them.
Her likely full recovery is testament to their extraordinary skills.
She described the neighbours who came to her rescue as heroic and also thanked her family for their care and unflinching support.
She would also like to thank the public for their outpouring of support and kindness, and as she turns to focus in on her recovery, she asks that her privacy and that of her families be respected.
The attack has sparked warnings about an increase in bull shark sightings in the Harbour, Hawkesbury and Georges rivers.
We're seeing an increase in the number of sharks in those estuaries, but not an increase in the amount of attacks.
But many swimmers at Balmoral today weren't deterred from taking a harbour dip.
It's not going to stop me from swimming here at Balmoral Beach because they're actually not in here. I think they're further up underneath the Spit Bridge.
Don't swim in the dark, but in the day, I think it's very unlikely you're going to get a bite.
Some admitted to being a little spooked.
We try not to think about it, otherwise we'll never go to the beach again.
Maybe there's not a lot of sharks here since there's lots of boats and it would scare away the sharks. We said maybe if we stay close, we won't get scared.
No sight of swimmers though at Elizabeth Bay.
This ends the news update. Thanks for watching.